So, I wasn't gonna do that in there in front of everyone, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I just want to say, obviously, you made the call to move in, which, whatever, that's your right. Most of those people in there, most of the people in this PD, they will not have the balls to stand up to you and say, hey, this is my call, I'm leading it, I need another minute to think of a plan, we can't just rush in. If after, being told that you still decide, no, we're moving in, then that is your right as the chief. And we will do that. But I think half of the people, probably most of the people, will not have the balls to tell you that. Am I saying that this ended the way it did because you made the call to move in? No, I don't. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's fair to put on you. I just think that some cops, they don't have the backbone to stand up to a superior and say, hey, I don't think this is the right call to make. Hey, I'm the lead.
Are you standing up to me right now? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not standing up to you. I'm just telling you that well, maybe I am standing up to you. I don't think you necessarily did anything wrong, but I can also see someone like Omar, who is but a simple officer, not for lack of a better term, to not have the balls to say, hey, I need another minute. And that's not just against you. If I had made the same call, I don't know if he'd have the balls to stand up to me and say, hey, Sergeant, I'm leading this call. I need another minute to think of what to do. Please don't rush me. I don't know if he would. I know there's a lot of people that wouldn't have the balls to say the same thing to me. And I just, I don't know how I want to end this. I just want to say that I think some people don't have the balls to say that to you.
All right, fair enough.
And again, I'm not saying at all that you were at fault for what happened. I just think
I understand what you're saying. You actually don't want to tell me that you think it's my fault, but it
no,
was.
No,
that
it's
was
not.
directly
No.
Hang on. Let me speak here, okay? That was my call. The outcome of
that
that was
re-entry.
on me. However, I'm also not interested in driving around a scene for 4 minutes. And there's no clear direction as to what's going on. Air 1 was overhead, gave communications. Taking rooftops and surrounding it was not the play. Because we have to push in there. We're the ones that have to push that subject there. We need to go in there. I'd rather go in there with 5, 6 people than with 1 or 2 to be, sacrificial lambs per se. Unfortunately, the calls that they were on rooftops were not put out by Air 1, which again, I'm not putting everything on Air 1. There's a lot of areas where we could have improved. We could have slowed it down a bit, got some more information. I don't think there was a whole lot of more information to have. It's a call that I made based on the information that was there. Again, I'm not interested in driving around a scene for 3-4 minutes. We have as many units as we allow on calls like that. The plan was to essentially go in there and stop them from robbing that truck and see where things escalate from there.
And that's where I respectfully disagree, because we don't need 6 people on rooftops, but we should have had some there because they can provide overwatch, they can provide cover. Just sending everyone in. There was one entrance that we were pushing, because I believe the bank truck was pushing the other entrance. We know 9 times out of 10, if that is what we do, we're gonna get shot, right? We know this. This is not the first time this has happened, and this is not the last time that it will happen. I think if we go into a situation like that, we know they are going to shoot us. I personally think we need to do everything to make sure that we have the best chances there. I think getting someone on Mosley's and getting someone on the apartment on, like, straight across from it, like, to the baseball field. Even if it's just 1 or 2, could have helped the outcome dramatically. Would it have changed it? Again, I don't know. But I think something should have been done. And in my opinion, the simple call, get someone on Moses, could have happened way before you made the call to move in, right? You're right. We were moving around for a long time, and no one had any kind of idea on what to do other than push and tell them to put the guns away or get shot, right? We know that this is going to escalate that. And so that call needed to be made sooner. I'll be speaking to Omar as well. He's obviously new in TRT, and there's no need to call him out in front of everyone. But there's just certain things that are, at least to me, so obvious in that situation that we need to be doing that did not come from him. So I understand that you don't want to circle them for, you know, forever and give them even more chance to set up. I understand that. I respect that. I'm saying this is a multi-street. There's many layers
There's room
to
for
what happened.
improvement in many different areas. Right?
Yes. Yes. You know, I did things wrong. Everyone probably did things wrong. Omar, you know, it's never just one person's fault, or at least 9 times out of 10, it is more than one person's. Well, I don't even want to say fault, right? Because that would imply some kind of maliciousness. Mistakes get made, it is what it is, as long as we learn from them. Okay.
Every situation has room to learn from. There's room to learn.
Right, westbound occupation.
I think many people could learn from that situation, myself included.
Right, eastbound Howick, in front of the art asylum.
Yep, I agree. I think that is the most important quality to have in leadership, knowing that even though you aren't in leadership position, and that this goes from sergeant up, that you still have things to learn. That no one is perfect. No one will ever be perfect. And again, the reason I pulled you aside is because I don't think there's a point saying this in front of everyone. I don't want to say I want you to be aware of the effect that you have on people when you make calls, but maybe that's exactly what I'm trying to say.
Oh, I'm aware of the effect. Like I said, my main issue there was the fact that we're driving around with no clear direction. The information was given out over the radio. We knew where people were. They said they didn't see anybody else, and at that point, we're still sitting there trying to formulate some sort of plan. Which, truthfully, like I said, I mean, how would you feel if you're the 1 or 2 officers that had to go in there while we had 5 or 6 on rooftops surrounding it?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
No
I don't
cover
think
there.
that would have been.
Yeah,
I don't think putting
right
6 on the
here.
roof is not the move.
Let me say this again. There isn't a perfect answer here. It's just that every situation is going to be different. I think having a couple people on rooftops wouldn't have been a bad idea.
Going through Del Perro Tunnel 22. We're going to be
on-site Mosley's would have been a big one. Putting some people on top of Mosley's.
I think at the end of the day, we have what, 8 units for a bank truck. Say half of them are doubled up, right? That gives us 12 cops. You put 3 on roofs, that still gives you 11 people on the ground that move in.
I don't know how many we had doubled up. I was looking for that.
I know I was doubled up. But even
okay.
even if it was just 9, right? 9 of us, 3 on roofs, that still leaves 6 on the ground pushing in. And if we then realize, okay, it's now turning into a 78 and we need to get out of the death trap and set up in better positions, at least we'll have the people on the roofs covering us and giving us a path of exit. Because I had no path of exit. I push forward, I push into a guy that is on the ground floor with people above him also shooting down on me. I push back out onto the street, I get fucked by the guy on Moses, right? There was just no exit path. And I think we could have created those exit paths for the people that pushed in for us. But again, I don't think this one is on you because that's just, to me at least, something that was so very clear. The second I knew where it was, I immediately had an idea of what roofs I would personally take, whether it turns into a shootout or not, to cover that. And I think that's just something that Omar didn't think of, or whatever it is. Maybe he's not that familiar with the area. I'll just pull him aside and I'll tell him, and we won't make the same mistake again.
Well, we all live and we learn. I need to get to this main here, though. Okay.
Picked her up, they're going south.
Okay.
Conversation.
I've got 2 on foot running up towards Elgin.
You take care, all right?
Thank you.